make you so special? Why did he bless you? Think about it. I woke up this morning. Gonna smile when I say that shit. I woke up this morning. Go.
And we are live. We are live with the intrepid, the brave, the daring Matthew Sauer.
Oh, thanks for the intro, man.
Yeah, no problem.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, so you're doing the Pacific Crest Trail this upcoming March, you said?
Yep, March 23rd.
Which is 2,600 miles?
Yeah, like 2,650. So.
2,650.
Yep.
And then so that in comparison to the Appalachian Trail on the East Coast?
I think the Appalachian's like 2,400 and something.
Okay.
So it's barely longer.
I think here I actually looked it up. I've been here
nice.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2,189 miles.
Okay. And I know the Appalachian's supposed to be like a lot steeper. There's a lot more mountain going up and down.
So what's the terrain on the Pacific Crest Trail like?
So like the beginning is desert, but I mean it's kind of mountainy still in the desert. It's not like super flat like you would think.
Because it starts in Mexico, right?
Yeah, it's called Campo. It's a city on the Mexico-California border.
Oh, no shit, okay.
Yeah, and so you start there, and then you go through like 700 miles of desert, and then you hit like a mountain range called the Sierra Nevada, and those are like 10,000 feet-ish. I mean, I think there's some 14ers, and then the highest peak in the lower 48's in there. Mount
Are you
Whitney.
still in California whenever you're hitting that? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I'll do Mount Whitney. So we'll like kind of leave our stuff at the base, walk up, and then walk back down for a day. And then you go through the Sierra, and then you hit like Northern California and Oregon where it gets pretty flat. And so by that point, you're doing like 30-mile days. You're like cruising, cranking out miles. And then once you get through Oregon, which most people like cruise through Oregon in like a month, which is insane. Yeah.
So the main stretch is just California.
Yeah,
Not
like
just California.
you hit. Well, I mean, you hit the halfway point and you're still in California.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a long stay.
Yeah. But the very end is the Cascade Mountain Range. So it's again like you're going up and down a lot, and it can get cold if you're there late, like like mid-September. Towards like the beginning of October, it can be like rainy every day and like 30 degrees. So like it can be dangerous.
Damn.
But that's why I'm leaving in March.
That's smart. I was thinking about that yesterday. That's a really good time to leave.
Well, the one problem that can happen is, well, one of many. There can be a lot of snow in the mountains when you hit the Sierra, and so sometimes you have to skip around, or I'm gonna try to just trudge through. I got like micro spikes and ice axe.
What are micro spikes?
They're like basically metal spikes you clip onto the bottom of your shoe, and
So you only use them whenever you're at that part of the trail?
Yeah, only whenever you have snow. Okay. Because they like grab into the snow, so it's easier to walk. Because walking on snow is kind of a bitch.
Wow. So how are you packing?
Well, I mean, like I pretty much like one shirt, one pair of shorts. I got leggings for like cold days or sleeping. Okay. And then I've got a nice fleece my parents are getting for me. I've got like a down vest, and then like a rain jacket. Okay. And like that's my clothing.
Yeah, because I mean you can't afford all that weight.
Yeah, it's like my base weight right now, like without food and water, is like just under 10 pounds. So my backpack,
no shit, really?
my backpack, my tent, my sleeping bag, all my clothes, and like rain gear.
You say tent?
Yeah. You have
a tent that is.
It's like 2 pounds.
Wow.
I just got it this week. It's I think it's 1 pound 12 ounces.
Is it a 1-person or 2-person tent?
No, it's a 2-person.
Okay,
it's pretty tight though. So like I mean, me and my aunt will both be carrying half of it. So
that's who you're going with?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just you and your aunt? Mm-hmm. How old is she?
She's 62. Well, I think she'll be 62 whenever we start.
Is she the same aunt that biked across the U.S.?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with my dad.
Hey, where'd she bike from?
Well, they started in Delaware and then went to Oregon. And then last summer, maybe it was 2 summers ago, she went with a girl and one of the guys who wanted to go but couldn't back in college. And they went from Oregon to Delaware. So they went the other way.
Wow. Yeah. Dude, I would love to meet her. She sounds crazy.
No, she's cool. She's cool. She's been all over the place. She was in the Navy for 32 years, and she's actually retiring December 31st. That's
no way.
Doing this. Yeah.
So she's retiring, and then she's just doing this crazy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and she's got like so much stuff going in between. Like once she retires, she's going up to Whistler to heli-ski, and she's going. I want to say she's going to the Alps to ski. She goes over there.
That's in Germany, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was stationed in Germany.
I've seen pictures, dude. That looks beautiful.
Right, it's cool. It's awesome.
That's cool. So it's the whole trail, or what are you gonna do whenever you see animals?
I mean, so most animals out there aren't going to harm you. The only ones you really have to be worried about are bears throughout the Sierra especially. And I've got a bear can.
Is the Sierra the
first
northwest?
So
that's still in Cali.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that part's semi-dangerous. I mean, bears aren't too terribly dangerous. I mean, in regards to, as long as they know you're there, like if you're loud, they'll stay away. It's only if you sneak up on them and like scare them, then they get a little hairy.
Absolutely. Well, grizzlies are very different than black bears, right?
Yeah. Actually, when I was in Montana this summer, they showed us this video, and with grizzly bears, like you have bear spray, and you basically spray a wall in front of them and hope they don't try to charge through it. But with black bears, they don't give a shit about your bear spray, and they will just run through it. Like if you scare a black bear, you're more likely to die than if you are like with a grizzly bear looking at you.
Really?
Because black bears, if they get scared, they'll just like try to kill you so quick.
Really?
Yeah, because they freak out.
Okay.
It's not the best, but you know.
That's like I honestly always was a lot more scared of grizzly bears.
I mean, they're huge. They're way big.
Massive.
Yeah, and the best advice they gave us if a grizzly bear like makes it through your wall of bear spray was lay face down on the ground and keep your pack between you and the bear. And like if it tries to roll you, just keep rolling and just keep your stomach on the ground.
No way.
So literally just roll around on the ground and hope it doesn't eat you. That's their best advice.
You gotta be fearless to try that though. That's a lot of trust, you know. Like fight or flight kicks in, you're either gonna probably gonna want to run away.
If you run, you're dead.
Really, I bet.
If you run, because if you run, their fight instinct kicks in.
Right.
And they are a much better hunter, and they are much faster.
I believe it.
Especially at sprinting. Oh, bears can sprint. They can climb trees. Like you're hosed. But moose, on the other hand, if you see a moose, hide behind a tree.
Really?
Apparently their brains...
You have to worry about moose, really?
I don't know if I do. I think it's more western Montana.
Okay.
But when I was there, they were telling us, like, we saw a moose when we went hiking. We saw it kind of a little bit of ways, but, like, if they are trying to charge you, if you hide behind a tree and they can't see you, they'll forget about you in, like, 5 to 10 seconds. Long as you don't peek out around the tree.
They have, like, a memory of a fish.
Yeah, their brains are really... Or their vision is really based on movement, and their brains, like, they're top predators, so they don't really think a whole lot. They just see, attack. So if you run, they'll attack you, but if you just, like, hide... chances are they'll forget you're there.
Wow. So you said somebody was telling you about this. Did you take like a class before doing this?
Well, I was in a class, and basically for this class we go out and do field work.
Okay.
And so like the night before everything started, they had a training for us where they went through all this stuff.
Okay.
Because they're like, yeah, you're gonna be out there. You're probably gonna go hiking on the weekend because people who go do classes in aquatic microbial ecology probably like hiking.
Yeah.
And so they assume we're going to be hiking in Glacier National Park, and they're like, you need to know this so you don't get hurt. And it was kind of cool, but it was also kind of terrifying because they told us about black bears, showed us how to get away from grizzly bears, and then never said anything about black bears. And someone asked, they're like, well, don't scare them. Like, what if we do? Like, well...
Good luck.
Yeah,
good luck.
Pretty much, yeah. So it was cool. I didn't see any bears when I was there.
Okay.
So that was nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Safe. What would you... So I'm sure you've been asked this exact question by, like, every single person, but what's, like, the overall goal of doing this? Like, what do you hope to gain?
Yeah, no, definitely. I probably... The thing I hope to gain the most is just, like, personal growth. Like, it's a lot about just setting a goal and proving to myself that if I really want to do something... It doesn't matter how hard it is or how big of a task it is. Like, I can just do it.
Anything. And that applies to anything.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's kind of like using this trip as like a metaphor for the rest of my life. Like proving to myself and giving myself the confidence that if I really want something, like I really want to do this hike, I can just do it as long as I'm willing to put in the work.
Right.
Because like right now, I pretty much spend my free time, like when I'm on social media, I'm actually on like ultralight forums, looking up gear, looking up like the towns I'm going to be hiking through, and like what grocery stores are cheap and which places I can. Like,
You're obsessed.
Yo,
dude.
definitely.
I love it.
But like that's like how I want to live my life, is like get obsessed with one thing, do it, and then move on to another thing.
Yes, that's exactly how I am. Yes,
I think it's It's a good way to live.
I just think passion needs to be distilled in everybody's life, because life gets really lackluster if there's no passion.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Do you know Mike Rowe?
I do not.
Okay, he's the guy who did Dirty Jobs.
Okay, absolutely.
And I was listening to him talk one time, and he basically said, like, don't follow your passion, which I think is crazy.
It's counterintuitive.
Yeah, well, he's basically saying, like, I think the example he used was, like, roadkill cleanup people whistle while they work. He's like, they don't care about cleaning up roadkill, but they get paid and they make a living. And, like, that's cool for some people, but for me, it just doesn't work. Like, I have to... Exactly, no, but I think that's good that, like, we can disagree with someone who's giving advice. Like, who was it that said the best advice I ever got was don't take any advice? Maybe J. Cole or something.
Okay.
I think...
I like taking that. Like, I like taking it with an open mind and then being able... Because everybody's trying to help you to the best based on their experiences.
But, yeah, their experiences
They're trying to relate it to yours, and they're doing the best they can, but really... You got to be able to figure out for yourself what's going to be the best for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But back on what you were saying a second ago, like just being able to be like, because you can always tap into that. Like anytime you're like really feeling down about yourself or anything later in life, you'll be like, wow, like I am. It's just that reminder. I am a badass. I did the Pacific Crest Trail, 2,600 miles, Mexico to Canada.
Yeah.
Like, are you doing the entire thing?
That's the goal.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's like fire, snow, a lot of things that could kick me off the trail, but right now the goal is to do it all the way.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, all the forest fires
Yeah.
going on there.
It was bad. I was watching videos, people doing it last year, and in Oregon, it's just smoky. Yeah. But I think going early is going to help with that, because the fires usually start in like July and August, and if I can get through Oregon in June and beat the fires... Maybe. That's
so how long do you plan to take on doing this?
About 5 months.
5 months?
Yeah.
5 months of hiking every single day?
Yeah.
Are there days where you like...
Yeah, I'll have days
rest?
off. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm sure, like, a lot of people I've read about take days off in towns and in, like, hotels.
Absolutely.
I think I would rather, like, take days off at, like... So I'm in the mountains and I'm next to a really cool lake and I'm just like...
I just camp there
take
for
a day off.
days.
Yeah, right? Just exactly enjoy. As long as I have the food to do it, I really would rather do that than sleep in a hotel. 1, because I'm cheap, and 2, because alpine lakes are, like, one of the coolest things in the world.
Right.
When I was in Montana, that's what we hiked to, was a glacial lake up in the mountains, and it was the bluest lake I've ever seen.
Beautiful.
Oh my God. I jumped in, and it was so cold, but it was worth it.
Oh, I bet that water just looks so pure. Like you'd be convinced you could drink it.
I did. I filled up my Camelback, and actually I had a water bottle full of it, and I brought it back home, and me and Jay had some.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, because Jay had gone to Glacier, and he told me about like how cool it was, and so I brought some Glacier water back, and we chugged a bunch.
I've had it once before, because I ended up in Colorado Springs. Long story short, I spent the night on top of the Mad New Incline. And I met some random stranger up there and ended up spending the night with him. Yeah, it was a crazy night, dude.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, what, do what?
Was that on your like trek across the country?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because I told it, because I like to do like spontaneous stuff as well. So I was like, I told my Australian buddy after we got done hiking around the Garden of the Gods, which is like the notorious tourist attraction there in Colorado Springs. And I'm like, all right, dude, I'm going to go hike the Mad New Incline, which is a mile uphill, and then I'm just going to spend the night up there. And he's like, all right, you do you, man. And he's like, I'm just going to go back to our Airbnb and get a good night's rest. And so I get up to the top. I get like 20 minutes of sunlight. Long story short, I end up walking back down the mountain thinking I'm going to like bail, but I'm too tired. I knew I wouldn't be able to make it in town before I'd fall asleep. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to fall asleep for like an hour, go back. End up meeting this dude hiking up the trail, and he tells me he knows where a cave in water is, and this dude was sketchy too, but yeah, I ended up spending the night in a cave.
Really?
Yeah.
You slept in a cave with a stranger.
And tried glacier water, and it was beautiful.
Right?
It's so cold, so just pure.
It's very refreshing.
So do you have like a water purifier thing?
Yeah, I do. I have, it's like a Catadine Be-Free.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, it's lightweight and...
Is it the one, I've heard about those where they have a warranty up to like, it's like 1 million gallons or something like absolutely ridiculous.
I don't know if this one has a warranty like that, but they're rated for like 1,000 liters, I think.
Okay.
Which is a ton of water. And whenever I'm in like the mountains, I don't know how much purifying I'll actually do, just because water right off of snowmelt doesn't really have many bacteria.
Okay.
And I'm willing to risk it. I mean, my aunt will probably filter water still because she laughed at me when I told her that I wasn't planning on it. But I'm not. During like the desert stretch, I for sure am going to filter water.
Absolutely.
But if it's running water, if it's high elevation, like near the tree line, there's no animals above it, like it's pretty safe.
You trust it?
Mm-hmm. Just because most of the contamination either comes from human influence through us adding nutrients and then the wildlife going crazy because of it, or just like fecal matter from other wildlife. And so if it's above the tree line, there's not enough to support much in the way of like megafauna, and so there wouldn't be much in the way of droppings and stuff, especially in March and April whenever it's cold.
Right.
So
I just think that natural water tastes better too.
Yeah, and also not having to filter is probably going to be nice because after a month, 2 months of just every time you want to drink having to like squeeze water through the filter, I think I'm going to get really tired of it.
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah. And you can't carry that weight on your back.
No, exactly. Like most people carry like 1 to 2 liters at a time and then just fill up as they go because,
So how much is that? Like how much does this
1 liter is like 2.2 pounds, I think. Maybe 2.2
Okay, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because like
I just thought of like a 2 liter.
A gallon's like 8 pounds. So
water's heavy, man.
Yeah,
it's heavy.
I mean, if all my gear's 10 pounds and I'm carrying 8 pounds of water, like that sucks.
Yeah, I guess you won't get too many souvenirs from this. Obviously, the experience is
No.
going to be
it'll be mostly
a million times more. But
pictures and memories.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I'm okay with that.
And that's how I prefer it too. I've never been a huge fan of souvenirs. Right. Maybe like a small thing.
I'll probably buy some shot glasses and like mail them back to myself or something.
Might as well.
Right, yeah.
So what are you going to do about showering?
I mean, shower probably like every 5-ish days in town. Because whenever I hit a town, if they have showers, like I'm going to take it.
Okay.
I'm not going to skip showers because I like showers.
Dude, I bet that feeling of like being able to go back to a shower and just like, I don't know, it's just...
Yeah, and do laundry. I think laundry and showers are going to be nice.
But I grew up like hiking in the woods a lot, and I know like after even just a day of just being gone in the woods all day, you come back super sweaty, all gross, covered in mud, got bugs in your teeth and shit. Like, there's no better feeling than coming back and just showering.
Yep.
And I can't even like begin to imagine the just sleeping out in the wilderness, hiking out in the wilderness for 5 days straight, or however long it'd be. I mean, I'm sure some days you'll go up to maybe even 10 days, you know?
Probably. Well, I think a lot of, like, in the long stretches, if I see a lake or something, I'll probably jump in.
True.
You know?
True.
I love swimming, and as long as it's not, like, 30, 40 degrees, I'll jump in. Because if it's, like, 50 and sunny, you warm up fast.
Right.
When I was in Glacier, it was, like, 55 but sunny. So I jumped in, like laid out on the beach.
Refreshing.
Oh, it was so refreshing. And I dried off so quick because there's no humidity there. So like in Missouri, we're so used to humidity, so it takes forever to dry off. Like sweating sucks. But in California, your sweat evaporates and it actually like cools you down.
No way.
Yeah, so I sweat a ton.
Right.
And so in Missouri, that sucks.
So that's going to be a benefit for you.
Exactly, in the desert, it's a huge benefit. Right. But I also have to drink a ton more water because I'm losing a lot of water through my sweat. So I have to and I won't notice as much because I won't have the sweat on my skin. So I just gotta
You gotta be conscious of that. You gotta be very aware.
Can't let myself get dehydrated because that'd be an easy way to get sick. And,
absolutely.
Yeah, don't want that.
Do you think you'll stop and party at any point?
Knowing my aunt,
maybe when
we go to towns, I feel like we're gonna be drinking for sure.
Because it goes through Yosemite, right? Mm-hmm. But does it go through any close to any major towns in California?
Oh yeah, no. The first 20 miles, there is a town on the trail.
Oh, really?
And there's towns on the trail throughout. A lot of them you hitchhike to.
Okay.
So one of the guys I talked to who had done the trail, he recommended wearing a collar so that hitchhikes are easier. Because people are more willing to pick up someone with a collar.
Really?
But I'm also
going to more appealing from a shoulder cup kind of deal. Okay.
And then also I'm going to be with my aunt, and women are much more likely to get picked up as hitchhikers.
I feel like people are going to be a little bit more empathetic of.
And if they see a young kid with my aunt, I assume they'll be.
That's cool. I didn't realize you were hitchhiking. That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't either until a couple months ago, and I was like, "Yeah, Aunt Erica, so we're going to be doing a bit of hitchhiking." She's like, "Oh, that's cool. You know, that's fine."
Your aunt sounds like the bomb.
She
sounds amazing.
She's cool, yeah.
So are you gonna like keep a knife on you at any point? Or?
No, I'm trusting people and like.
Well, even just for like candy, like in the woods.
Oh, I have a tiny pair of scissors.
Okay.
I'll show you after. They're literally like this big. They weigh 0.3 ounces.
Really?
I weighed them. Yeah. They're really sharp though. They work.
Because you could. I mean, this is just a recommendation. Obviously, I know nothing about this, but I feel like if I were going to do something like this, I would keep a knife in my socks so that it's like quickly accessible. It doesn't add too much weight.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a lightweight knife, you know.
Yeah.
And for protection.
Yeah. See, my thought is, if I need protection, a knife probably isn't going to be enough.
Yeah, true.
Because like the only things that can really get you are a bear or a human, and a human most likely they're not going to have a knife; they're going to have a gun. Right. If they're really trying to like take my shit.
Yeah, I don't want to bring a knife to a gunfight.
And so yeah, that's a good way to get hurt. Against a bear, you don't want to try to fight them, like you're screwed. And I mean, the biggest fear I have is like disease, like getting sick, getting giardia. I don't know if you know what that is.
No, I don't.
Giardia, basically it makes you get diarrhea. And so you get really dehydrated because your intestine cells, they just like all your water just goes out. And your intestine cells can't hold water because there's an imbalance in like the sodium concentration, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but yeah. And so that's a big one that has gotten people in the hospital for weeks.
Right.
So that's one of my biggest fears. Like I think foot pain is one of the biggest reasons people get off the trail.
I'd imagine that.
So I've been doing recently a lot of research in shoes, and I still haven't decided what I'm going to do, but I think I'm going to do like trail runners. Like they make basically like tennis shoes that are really breathable with like a little bit thicker soles.
Okay.
And they're designed for hiking.
Are they good for like sweat? I feel like
yeah, they're really breathable.
Okay.
And that's one of the things. I'm used to hiking in boots that have like a Gore-Tex liner, which means it's really waterproof. But it doesn't breathe as well. And so out there, the assumption is your feet are going to get wet. So instead of trying to prevent water from getting in, you choose a shoe that'll just dry really fast. Whereas with my boots, if they get wet, like it takes like a day and a half to dry out. The shoes I'm looking at, they'll dry out in,
you don't want that.
45 minutes.
Right,
And
okay.
so that's...
So you might have to deal with it on the second half of every day, but overnight it's gonna...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The one thing I'm kind of worried about in the mountains is if my shoes get wet and it gets cold at night, like my shoes could freeze.
Right.
And
wow.
Yeah, right? And with one of the water filters I was looking at, there's like a ceramic piece in it, and if it drops below a certain temperature, that'll freeze and break, and you don't know if it happened. So all of a sudden, you could be filtering water, and it's not actually working anymore.
Okay.
So I'm thinking I'm steering away from that water filter. So
are you doing any of this for like the... Are you doing it solely for the challenge, or are you also doing it from like the detachment from like technology and whatnot?
Definitely both. Like
reconnect with nature a little bit.
Over spring break, I went to Zion National Park.
Absolutely, I love Zion.
Yes, it was awesome. Like
really?
I actually it wasn't at Zion, but it was a hike in the desert Southwest, and it was just one of the coolest experiences in my life. And I was like, I want to go hike for a while. So I had decided
So that was life-changing enough that you decided you wanted to hike for an extensive period of time?
Yeah.
More than
at
like
that
5-6 miles?
Yeah. I decided I was going to do the John Muir Trail, which is a 212 section of the PCT. So I was like, I'm going to do this 200 miles. And then I went to Montana this summer, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do 1,800 miles, which would have been from Mexico up to Crater Lake, Oregon. Okay. And then like a month later, I was just, you know what? If I'm doing 1,800 miles, why am I not going to do the whole thing?
Right.
So it went from like a pipe dream to, okay, I might do this. Okay, I'm going to do the whole thing. And now it's like, holy shit, I've already spent like almost $1,500 on gear. Like I'm going.
Right.
So rain or shine, I'm doing it. And
dude, that's so cool too. Wait, what were you saying?
Well, I was going to say like the hardest thing for me to like get past right now is just accepting that for weeks at a time I'm not going to want to be there. Everything's going to hurt, it's going to rain, it's going to be cold, like my knees are going to be swollen, and I'm just going to have to like push through the shittiness. Like no matter what, in a 5-month period there's going to be bad times.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
inevitable.
Inconceivable to think about it as it's all going to be good. So I've got to just learn to cope with shitty.
Yeah.
Which is like a life skill I hope to bring back from the trail.
So you see the value in struggle then?
Yeah,
like a meaningful struggle.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Like someone like Elon Musk, I don't know if you know his story.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he, immigrant, watched his parents work their asses off so he could survive. Him and his brother started a company where they had no money, so they didn't have a place to live, so they rented out a office and basically worked, slept, and then worked for 6 months.
Really?
And they started PayPal, working 100-hour weeks. And a 100-hour week is his standard because all he's ever known in his life is struggle. So I am nothing like that, and I don't claim to be like that, but I think putting struggle in my life will help me to work harder and to build better habits and to want to do more instead of sit around. So
okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. So I'm assuming on the like any long-term goal, it's got to be broken down into a short amount of time, like every day. So what's your daily goal? Are you gonna set today we gotta every day we gotta walk between 20 and 30 miles?
No, I don't plan on doing it like that, just because I'm not someone who likes to have everything planned out.
You don't like too much structure? You like the spontaneous
I don't really like structure too much. I like having an overarching goal and knowing how I'm gonna get there, but just figuring out along the way what's the best strategy.
That's how, if I was taking on a beast like the Pacific Crest Trail, that's probably what I would be the same way. Because then you're stressing yourself out. You're like, oh, I hiked 18 miles a day, and then you're all pissed off, and you're going to bed. And
I don't want to do that.
Absolutely.
Not at all. So my plan right now is to start out with 10-mile days for a week, and then see how it goes.
Absolutely.
I have no plan past that. So.
It doesn't matter when you finish. Just whenever you finish.
With starting so early, if we go really slow, we'll still be able to finish before it gets super cold in Washington.
Absolutely.
So I've built in time to struggle and fail and get upset and take a week off even, and I'm okay.
Okay.
I don't want to, but I know it's probably gonna happen where I'm gonna either get hurt or something's gonna go wrong.
That would suck. You'd be an ankle. Or...
Yeah, it happens. But I've got family in California, so worst comes to worst, I can hopefully crash with them for a week and then ship myself back out there. And
absolutely.
So, we'll see.
Take on that beast. Take on that bull by the horns.
My goal right now has just been planning out for every conceivable obstacle, so that
plan for the worst.
Yeah, I'm going to assume I'm going to get hurt. I'm going to assume it's going to rain a bunch. I'm going to assume it's going to suck.
Murphy's
so that
Law.
way, yeah, because every piece of gear I have already in my backpack something to fix it. My tent is super lightweight, so I'm assuming at some point it's going to rip. Okay. So I have tape in my bag that is designed to fix a tear in the tent.
So wow, the preparation is absolutely insane.
Well, you basically, if you want to finish, you have to do this kind of preparation. And so I've just watched vlogs. I can't even believe I just said that word. Of people who have done this over and over. The one guy who really inspired me his name's Lint. Okay. And he's done the Triple Crown, which is the Pacific Crest Trail, the Appalachian Trail, and the Continental Divide Trail.
I read about that. That's what is that? 7,000 something? Yeah, 7,800 miles.
The Triple Crown?
Yeah.
Well, he's a triple crowner. He's done all three times.
Holy shit.
The dude is insane. And so he's the guy who I if he's doing this, there's probably a pretty good reason as to why he's doing this. And so I've learned a lot from him. He's an interesting dude.
That would be a really informative vlog.
He hasn't done a whole lot because he's a goofy dude. He's like me. He's kind of off, but I love it. And he makes vans now. He lives out of his van, and he's working with some carpenter.
Oh, I need that vans like the shoes.
Oh, no. $100,000 luxury vans to live out of. It's because he believes whenever he was 20, he didn't have any money.
Okay.
So he would dumpster dive behind grocery stores and only throw out good food because it's expired.
Absolutely.
And so that's how he would get his food. He'd freeze dry it and then he'd send it to himself on trail, and he would do anything to finance his treks.
It's resourceful.
Yeah, exactly. So he's a super smart dude. And I don't know, I just picked up on a lot of the little things. But there's some things that he does that I don't really want to do, and so I want to like do my own trick.
Well,
and
that's what's
then
cool about it. You kind of learn from him, and then you apply your own methods.
Exactly. Yeah.
Deal.
And there's other people who I've been like following who are not quite as experienced as him, but have a lot to offer as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you need. You need somebody who's actually done the experience.
Exactly, yeah, because
from.
I've never done anything like this. I mean, the longest I've ever hiked is like 100 miles, and that was like junior year of high school.
That's still insane.
And so, I mean, it was like kind of planned out for me. I mean, it was totally different. It was in Boy Scouts, so like it was a totally different atmosphere.
Okay.
But it was a really good experience. Like that was what made me kind of want to go into fisheries and wildlife and go into conservation, and that's set me on the path that's led me to like this career I want to have in science and leading me towards now hopefully my master's. And
that's so cool, just the ripple. Like,
yeah, exactly. That
like
started.
what if you got sick that weekend and ever went on that 100-mile hike? Do you ever think about that? Like where your life would go? Like,
dude, the butterfly effect is real.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Absolutely.
So many little things.
Just like one thing that you don't do or do just opens up a whole new multiverse of.
Oh yeah. I still remember when I first went to Mizzou, I was like looking to rush fraternities, and one of my sister's friends, her boyfriend, was like offering for me to rush or whatever. Okay. And the only reason I never went over was because that week was like bid day, and their fraternity had a guy dress up in a Teletubby suit, and they got in trouble for sexual harassment because apparently dressing up as a Teletubby is sexual harassment, which is just ridiculous.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he didn't even do anything. He was literally he was kind of probably drunk and like dancing around. And because he had like a mask on, it was sexual harassment. And so they were going through Title IX, and he was on exec board.
My God.
And so like their fraternity was basically like being attacked. And so like they shut down Rush for the week. And so
campus.
Yeah.
Campus was kind of
their IFC. And so I never went over and like rushed there. So I literally could have joined a completely different fraternity, which would have set me on another completely different track.
Absolutely, because all those people you meet are making different influences.
Just because one
life.
kid decided it would be funny to dress up as a Teletubby.
Wow.
And then everyone freaked out.
That is insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's what's so cool about this world. Like so many factors playing into it, and there's somebody in New York that's somehow affecting the way that we're living right now. You know, like
no, very true.
Especially Elon Musk on that topic. I mean, he's really changed the world.
Did you hear he's building tunnels in LA to help with traffic?
The Boring Company?
Yeah.
Dude, those are so cool. Like how you just drive your car on them and
they go down. It's insane.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
No, I know. Probably in like 30 years, that's going to be huge.
Absolutely.
In big cities, at least. Probably not here in Missouri, but.
I'd assume once it's built in LA and they can do it more efficiently, then
Probably go to like Chicago next, because New York would be tough. I mean, they could do it.
It's so compact.
Well, there's already a huge subway system, and it's on an island, which I assume would complicate things, but I don't really know much.
But they can always go deeper, so maybe under the subway system?
That's true. I mean, then you got to deal with groundwater, though, and maybe that's a problem, I would assume. That would add pressure and weight, but I don't know a whole lot about that.
If there's anything about Elon Musk, though, he conquers problems.
Yeah, he does. That is very true.
Dude, that would suck. I never even thought about that. Like one of those tunnels just floods one day with ocean water.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
You're done.
Yeah, they got a plan for everything, especially on those coastal places.
Yep. That's why I think Chicago might be next. But I mean, they got Lake Michigan, so shit.
Yeah.
People are based around water.
Hey, maybe St. Louis. Maybe St. Louis.
Hey, maybe.
Oh, and the other thing he's doing is those. Oh, like the rockets. He's
landing them. Yeah.
Yes. That is insane.
It saves like $200 million per launch.
Really?
Yeah, well, because the rockets are that expensive.
You're talking about just like landing them. Yeah, and he's doing it accurately too.
Mm-hmm. On a barge in the ocean.
Really?
Yeah, he landed, I think, 2 now rockets on like 100 by 100 yard barges in the ocean.
Okay.
All
2 for 2?
autonomously. No, I think, well, the first one, they failed. Something went wrong, but they didn't entirely lose the rocket. I don't remember exactly. But then since they've had 2 successful, and then NASA was like, okay, you did it on the ocean, now you can try it on land. And they did it like perfectly. Like they launched the rocket, it went up, it launched a satellite into orbit, like flipped, came back down and landed.
Wow.
Which just the physics and math behind that is insanely complicated.
Absolutely.
I can't even begin to like imagine.
Which is so complicated that like that's awesome that he's 2 for 2, you said?
I think he messed up.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
But like it's a very high percentage.
Yeah, no, and
that's awesome. But he needs to be 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
It needs to be 100%.
Yeah.
But no, he's doing rockets that will travel like in replacement to like an airplane. So like from like Australia to. Oh, I forgot.
Oh, okay. So like a high-speed plane, basically. Like
pretty much.
It would get you there way faster.
Extremely quick. Like it was. I forgot what it was, but it
Cool.
was like NYC to like London in like an insane amount of time.
2 hours or something.
Something like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, dude, it's crazy that he's almost all self-taught.
Really?
Yeah, like all the physics.
Because he started coding originally.
Yeah, and like that's how
a lot of
he learned to do PayPal. And
autodidact.
Yeah.
That means like a self-taught. I only did that because it's a brand. But.
Okay. Yeah, but like he made a bunch of money off PayPal and then didn't sit on the money. He like used that and invested in himself and then learned a bunch. He spent like the saying is that he like reinvested everything he had into SpaceX. Like after the first failed landing, they had like no money, so he put all of his money back into it, built another rocket, and if
they almost failed at that point.
And if they would have failed, then he would have basically been bankrupt.
And then that's the whole world is affected by that.
Yeah, that would be a huge ripple. Because I mean, he wants to put a dude on Mars by 2022, I think.
Really?
Yeah, that's his goal.
Well, he plans to die on Mars, right?
Probably, I believe it.
The cool thing about him too is he's so young. Like he's not old at all. He's like 40 something, man. He's like early 40s too.
Yeah. So I mean, he potentially has like 30 good years left.
Absolutely.
That'd be.
And then all the lasting change he's making on top of that. Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, if they're
Tesla itself is just so awesome.
Yeah.
Like he all of his patents are opened. All of his patents on like electronic batteries, all the battery technology. He like puts it out there to the market because he wants to increase competition, and he thinks having batteries like that are better than the current ones is the way to the future. Because right now they say that battery technology is holding back our civilization. Like once we get a battery, they can have like right now it's the bigger the battery, the more the charge.
Absolutely.
But if you can get a tiny battery with as much charge as the biggest battery, everything would change.
It's kind of the same idea with like computers, like those massive computers that they sent somebody to the moon. Now we have more technology and like a simple like just an iPhone.
Yeah.
I heard even like a graphing calculator has more technology in it than what we sent to the moon. That is insane.
I believe it.
That's insane.
Oh, dude, yeah. Computers used to be whole rooms. Now my cell phone has way more power than that.
But that's my biggest complaint about my cell phone, dude. Like obviously it's an older phone, but the battery is absolute ass. It's garbage.
Right.
It's garbage.
Mine's new, so it's not bad. But in a year, it'll be rough.
Right.
That's how it always goes.
Wait, so back on the Pacific Crest Trail, how much do you think, or how much are you anticipating this to cost you?
Okay, so like I said, on gear alone, I had budgeted $2,000, and I'm about $1,200. But I had some help. Like my parents are buying a jacket, my dad bought me a bear can, and so like they've helped me with some of it, and I like had some gear.
Respect.
But like so about $1,200 on gear. And then everything I've read has estimated about $1,000 a month. Okay. So with 5 months, it's about $5,000 to $6,000.
What cost does that cover? Like I'm assuming like
food,
water, or not even water.
Not water, just like food, off days in hotels if you want, and then also new shoes every like 500 miles, and just like beer. A lot.
Okay.
I watched some dude's breakdown of his costs, and he had like a pie chart. And almost half of it was like alcohol. I was just like, okay, so if I want to do it cheap, no alcohol. We'll see. But so I mean, I think I can do it a lot cheaper than $1,000 a month. Absolutely. But I want to have that saved up, so that way, if something goes wrong,
same mentality. Prepare for the worst. Prepare for the worst.
So I don't want to get out there and be like, oh shit, I wish I had more money so I could finish, because that would
suck.
That would if I don't finish because of money. That would make me so sad.
Yeah.
Because like that's literally just me being irresponsible.
Yeah. And just lack of preparation too.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Damn.
Hopefully that's not going to be a problem.
I think I asked you over text this summer, but how are you preparing for this?
Like mentally, physically?
more so physically, but I'm like, now you bring up the whole mental aspect. That's
so
piques
physically,
my curiosity.
I mean, during the summer, I would hike like every weekend, and through August and September, I was pretty good about it. And this week, like I said, I've done like 25 miles. But I mean, just generally, I do push-ups every morning. Sometimes I do sit-ups and stretches. It's been hit or miss this semester, but during the summer, I was really good about it. It was 25, 30 push-ups in the morning, 30 sit-ups. I would do pull-ups and like leg lifts, and kind of fell off in the semester, but I'd do that every morning and every night, and that helped a lot. Just general fitness.
Absolutely.
And like
strength and endurance kind of combined. Okay.
And then I always walk to class, so I live a mile from campus, and I try to walk 5 miles a day. I'm usually more about 4, because it's a mile to campus and then a mile back, and I usually walk there twice a day.
That's not bad.
And so that's really to help like my joints, like my knees.
I bet nobody driving by who sees you like walking to campus is like, that dude's training for it.
Yeah, no, definitely not. But like I keep a book in my backpack, so my like school backpack sits around 20 pounds.
Okay, so it's double the weight you're going to be carrying.
Well, it's double the base weight, but with food and water, I figured I'll be carrying about 20 pounds.
Wow, okay.
So like on average, just depends.
Okay.
Yeah, like some days, like if I'm leaving town on an 8-day resupply, I'll have probably close to 30 pounds. But if I'm like the day outside of town, like about to get there, I'll probably be sitting at like 15. So it's going to vary every day, but I'll figure I'll probably average 20, 22-ish.
So what kind of backpack are you taking?
Actually, I custom ordered it from this dude in Japan.
No way.
Yeah.
Custom ordering kind of like the same idea whenever you order shoes, like you kind of except
kinda.
like certain features you're kind of like choosing to have.
Exactly. His website was really confusing. Like the first time, so I had made a spreadsheet on my gear, and the first time I looked up his packs, I remember writing super confusing form, probably not. And then I like kept doing more research, and people were like, no, this guy's stuff is legit. Like he has, so most packs, if you go frameless, you're looking at about £1.
What does that mean, frameless?
So like a backpack will have like a frame, which is like usually aluminum or steel, or not steel, titanium, and the metal goes from the top to the bottom, like to your waist, and so it'll transfer weight from off your shoulders to your hips.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah, and so basically there's 2 schools of thoughts. One is frameless and hip beltless. So it's you go light enough to where your shoulders can bear all the weight. And the other is you get a sturdy enough frame to where your hips can carry it and not your shoulders, so you're good. But this guy kind of mixes the two, because if you want a framed backpack, you're looking at 2 pounds. If you go frameless, you're £1 or less. Okay. Well, this pack is like £1, but it has a frame and a hip belt.
Okay.
Yeah, and the pack's also waterproof. So it's waterproof. It only weighs £1. It's got a hip belt and a frame. It was like $240.
Oh wow.
And I've been waiting. I ordered it like 2 weeks ago almost, and he hasn't finished making it yet, but like the dude, does
handmade?
Fantastic work. Oh yeah, no, all handmade.
Okay.
Like that's why I went through him, because he's like, I've never heard a bad word about any of his packs.
Well, from the exterior, $240 sounds like a lot, but I mean, this is something you're going to be carrying around with you for a while.
And the other packs I was looking at that were like off the shelf, not handmade, not like tailored to my needs, were like $200. So I was either going to use my backpack that I've had that's like £5, or invest in a new one and spend about $200 anyway. So I figured, why not spend the extra $50? Like, I'm going to be with this backpack for 5 months anyway. Like, might as well make it something I love.
Yeah, totally.
I haven't tried it on, and I have no idea if it's going to like fit. So I'm totally terrified.
Fingers crossed.
But it's my last big piece of gear that I don't have. So like, once I get that, I can train with my actual kit that I'm going to be rolling with next summer.
And that'll last you for life too.
Hopefully, yeah. Like, it's like a backpack that should last at least 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and the guy's awesome. Like, I originally ordered one fabric and then read a bunch of reviews about this new fabric. They're like, yeah, I took it on 2 through hikes already and it's still good to go. Like, don't worry about durability. You'll want a new pack before this one will wear out. And I was like, I emailed him, I was like, hey, I don't know if you already made my backpack or not. It's only been like 2 days, but if possible, could I switch to this fabric? And he emailed me back. He's like, yeah, sure, no problem. Like, let me run the math on how much you owe me. And he ended up actually owing me like $5 or something. But it was like, a nominal amount. But still, yeah, great. There's been great customer service. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So is this dude like Like, is he Japanese?
Actually, I think he's
based
a Frenchman who's living in Japan. I don't know.
But he's an interesting guy, especially if you got like. How do you you gotta have some interest in hiking
and like
if you're making these.
He owns the company's called KS Ultralight, and like he makes all kinds of backpacks and all kinds of cool stuff. Like his website is kind of confusing, but it is full of just cool shit. I just got lost in there for hours.
Really?
Yeah. Because he's got like simple day packs, bigger like big packs that are still lightweight for how big they are.
Well, I bet that selection it'd be the type of thing like. It's so much. You're like, what do I need? What do I want?
That's why it took me so long to figure out what the hell I was looking at.
Yeah, especially if you're not trying them on, like you're kind of feeling them out.
It's tough. It's tough to like, okay, this is what I think I want. So,
dude, I hope it's like custom fit and like it works out everything.
I mean, I like measured my hips and my shoulders and so.
I don't see why not, you know?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Because I know how it is. Like with those, whenever backpacks are extremely heavy, like you need some of that resistance to be off your shoulders because your traps will be donezo in like a day.
And there's people like that Lint guy. He doesn't use a waist belt, but his base weight is like under 7 pounds.
That's attainable.
Yeah, so at most he's carrying 20 pounds.
Right.
And 20 pounds is a lot, but he's a big dude and he hikes a lot, so it's whatever you're used to.
Absolutely, yeah. I know mine was like 50 pounds on my trips.
Right,
it was
exactly.
insane. I was like, this sucks.
Yeah, I know. I remember training one day. The day I like decided I was getting a new backpack and like gonna go ultralight, I put like a bunch of weights in my backpack. I probably had like 55 pounds.
No way.
And I walked from my house to this park nearby, walked like a 5-mile loop and then walked home. And I couldn't walk straight for like 3 days.
No way.
My back and my legs just were like pulled. It was bad.
Wait, what do you mean you can't walk straight? Like you're just doing circles?
No, I was just like hunched over, like scooting more or less. It was horrible. And I was just like, all right, that was like 55 pounds. That was terrible. I'm not even going to be close to that. And then I started like doing a bunch of research on Reddit. Okay. There's a forum called R Ultralights. And there's like 55,000 people in it. Which is insane. That's a ton, I'm pretty sure.
Wait, what's it called again?
R Ultralight.
Okay.
So it's like people who just love backpacking, but they don't want to carry a bunch of weight. So at first I kind of thought they were totally sissies, and I was just like, all right, you guys are just like stupid. But then the more I started like reading and like understanding their reasoning, the less weight on your back, the less strain on your feet, the less strain on your knees.
And even long term too, because if you're hiking around with something like 30 pounds, dude, that might after I don't know a few months in, that might mess you up permanently. You never know.
Yeah, so it's been cool. It's been a really like growing experience just doing the research.
Yeah.
Ooh. Excuse me.
That's so cool, dude. Like just this long term of a goal, and then all the preparation that goes into it. And
it's been fun though, honestly. Like that's the key for me is that I've enjoyed doing all the research. So it hasn't been like a chore. It's never been like, oh, I don't want to look at this. It's like, oh, I don't want to do my homework. I want to just research.
Oh, I totally. Yeah.
Which is cool. So I just hope after this I can find something else that I want to do as badly as this and I'm as hyped about.
So do you think you'll be like that dude who did the Triple Crown? Wait, it's called the Triple Crown, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do the Triple Crown. The Appalachian Trail for some reason doesn't really interest me that much.
Well, also, dude, the ticks over there. The ticks. Yeah,
there's a ton of things. Exactly, the ticks suck. Mosquitoes, they're pretty bad. I mean, they're not horrible. Like Oregon might be worse, but I don't know. The terrain's way steeper. It's way rainier. It's a little more similar to Missouri, so like I kind of, not that I feel like I've seen it before, but like I wanted something new for sure. And it's not quite as high like max elevation, I don't think. I haven't really researched that too much. And it's not like from the bottom of the country to the top, which kind of really like piques my interest.
Because it goes from Maine, or is it no?
It's like Georgia to Maine. Yeah,
or vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do both. And so it's cool, but I think I would rather do, there's one called the Hayduke Trail, which it starts in Arches National Park, goes south through Canyonlands, Capitol Reef, and Grand Escalante National Monument, and then goes into the Grand Canyon, and then up through...
So there's some sites.
Zion. Yeah, it ends at Zion.
No shit.
It's 800 miles, but that one, I already told myself, if I ever get my PhD, I'll go do that one.
Okay.
But if I don't get my PhD, I can't do it because it's like it's like a motivation thing. Like I don't really know if I'm gonna get a PhD, but if I am, I need a little motivation. So that's
dude, honestly, obviously neither one of us know where we'd be later in life.
Yeah.
But you seem like you're wired very similar to me because I'm the same way. I need to have a goal. Like it's not even like a conscious choice, dude.
Yeah, it's just I need to be pushed because if I'm not, I'll just sit around.
Yes. And if I sit around personally, I get real depressed real quick.
That's why I hate winter.
Yes.
Because I just sit inside and I'm just like, man, these are all the things I could be doing.
That's
why this week I've been outside like every day.
Yeah, it's difficult to get yourself outside whenever it's the weather's ass. Especially whenever it's a snow day and you're snowed in.
Dude, no, I love snow days though, because I'll just go outside. Like,
well, whenever they're consecutive, they're annoying.
See, I've never had that. I've only had like 1 or 2 individual snow days that were separated.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I love sledding as well.
Oh, God.
Just going head first.
Right.
Building ramps.
Yeah. Snow days are nice.
Oh, yeah.
I hope we get one. Well, I guess it won't even affect me. There's only 2 weeks left of class for me.
Yeah, you graduate soon, man.
Dude, there's 9 school days.
So would you say this is your graduation gift?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see, do you only have 9 school days until you're done?
Yep.
Wow.
9 school days, 2 finals.
Wow.
And one of those school days is like a 2-test day. So like my classes aren't really happening because it's just tests. So yeah, it's whenever I get back to school, I'm gonna have to like hit the grind. Like I've got 2 projects, a presentation, another like undergraduate thesis project that I've been working on for like a year now.
Okay.
That I have to finish editing and I have to finish my conclusion and my abstract. So like I got a ton of stuff to do, but I'll do it.
Not stressing?
Nah, I mean, I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out on the inside, but like, I know that'll push me to get it done.
Right. So like the stress of okay.
I like that like subtle nudge in the back that's like, if you don't do this, you won't graduate. I'm just like, okay. Like going to the library is easy when I got that as my motivation.
So where's the psychology behind that? Because I'm the exact opposite. I'm not very good. Like whenever I don't handle stress very well at all. No, like I
don't know. I've always been like
get overwhelmed.
Yeah, see, I definitely feel that, and like getting overwhelmed is easy, but one of my greatest strengths is when I get overwhelmed, I put my head down and I just pick one thing and I just do that.
That's who you have to be.
And then I pick another thing and I just do it and I just do it and I just do it.
And if you think about the entire picture, but you'll
freak out.
You only have this moment and you can only work at one thing at a time.
How I work, like when I go to the library, people like think I don't get anything done because every like 15 minutes I get up and like I'll be gone for like 5-10 minutes. Because what I do is like I work really hard. Like for 15 minutes, I don't talk, I don't think about anything but what I'm working on. And then like all of a sudden I can feel myself being like, and then I'll just get up and go take a walk. So as soon as you
catch your mind drifting, you're just like, all right, I need a break.
Yeah, and I'll go take a walk. I'll go to the bathroom. I'll go fill my water bottle. Sometimes I'll go outside and walk around and just like look at the trees and
go hit on the librarian.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'll come back. I'll like gather myself, and then I'll start in on something else. I like doing like 15 minutes of one thing, 15 minutes another. Some people like going start to finish. I can't do that. I go like do a little bit of everything, a little bit of everything, a little bit of everything, and then when it's due, it's already like 3/4 of the way done. So that night before, I just spend an hour finishing it.
Right. So
and it's kind
of like cramming at the end, but with preparation.
I've always been a procrastinator, and so this has been my way kind of around procrastination to where I'm still procrastinating because I need that, like, it's fourth quarter, there's a minute left, we need that last touchdown. Like, that's what I need, that like pressure to really work my best. I feel
so
maybe
you're clutch.
But I like to think so. I don't know if it's true, but that's how I operate best. Like when I got that pressure feeling down on me, I can just, it's easier for to keep myself motivated and on task.
Okay.
Because when I don't have that feeling of everything's gonna go horrible, I'm like, oh, I can just go do whatever. I don't need to work on this.
Dude, that's a cool psychology.
Yeah, it's probably not the best, like, but
it works for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's a Childish Gambino line that I love. It's like, I wish there were more of us freaking out, and I love that because
I've never heard that by him.
Oh, it's on because of the internet somewhere.
Hell of a thinker too.
Oh yeah,
dude, that is. I would argue that Childish. Really,
he got me out of depression for sure.
No shit.
Oh yeah,
with his music or with his stand up?
No, his music. The album. I don't know if it's an album actually. I think it's a mixtape, Cul-de-sac.
Never heard it.
Okay, it's kind of like, it was before he blew up. It was the one before Camp. And actually,
I'm assuming Camp's the one with like 3005.
no, that's because of the internet. Camp's the one with Bonfire.
I've heard Bonfire.
Yeah, you definitely have.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I remember I've heard it and I liked it, but I don't remember what it sounds like. I can't.
no, it's like the
right now.
I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, and like my favorite part is the very end of Cul-de-sac. He says like, "Give me 6 months, I'll blow up. I told you so."
I like that.
And now he's huge.
Yeah,
you know, Redbone is one of like the biggest songs in the last couple of years. Like, he has like.
That came out this time last year, actually.
Yeah, it was
Came out in November of 2016. Oh, it's December.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He always releases in December because that's when the kids got money for Christmas.
Right. Yeah, I remember last year, like last December, it was like Drake, Kid Cudi, J. Cole.
That Thursday
Childish.
before finals week was crazy.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Everybody was like, new music!
And then you're just like, shit, I'm trying to get my finals done. Dude, calm down. Yeah.
It's like, I can't be listening to rap music while I study.
I can't. Dude,
It's difficult.
I can't listen to music while I study.
Really? I know a lot of people like to listen to like classical music and whatnot.
Yeah, a lot of people that I know listen to like soft EDM, like just like a little, like no words.
Okay.
And that makes sense to me. But my problem is if I have music going, I'll get distracted and focus on the music. And all of a sudden it's been 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And like I know, I don't know if I have ADHD. I'm not like diagnosed or anything, but I am very distracted very easily.
I am the same
And
way.
I feel like most people are. And so I know myself and I know I can't listen to music and do homework. I used to a lot.
It's kind of the fun part about life, you know, like figuring out what works for you, what doesn't.
Yeah, one of my friends is like, dude, how are you doing homework without music? I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I can't. Like, I'll go crazy. I was like,
That's crazy.
I'll go,
The exact opposite.
Literally totally different people, but whatever works.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
Customize this life to yourself.
Yeah, you can't use other people's anecdotal experience to like find the perfect method for yourself.
That's why introspective thinking is essential.
Yeah. You read the mindfulness meditation book, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I thought.
Are you into meditation?
I haven't been this semester, no. This summer I did.
That's how I was. I meditated for like a few months consecutively. When I was living alone in my apartment, I meditated very frequently.
Yeah, I think when I'm hiking, I'm going to do a lot more of it. Because, like, for me, hiking kind of is meditation. Like, I'll focus solely on my feet. Because I'm trying to change the way I walk. So whenever we walk, like, if you strike with your heel, you hit and your leg is, like, straight. So your hip and your back takes a lot of impact. But if you hit with the front of your foot, your knee's bent slightly. And so your knee acts as like a piston. And so it'll like be a shock absorber.
So your quad's taking a lot of that too.
Yeah.
Like your leg muscles.
Yeah, your
right?
leg is taking a lot of the impact. And that Lint guy's the one who like kind of has made me rethink like, why do you walk with a heel strike? It's because shoes are made with a 2-to-1 ratio. There's 2 inches of foam in the back, 1 on the front, so that you can heel strike, so it's easier.
Right.
And on concrete, that's fine. But when you're on a trail, it's gonna hurt, and your body's not gonna be able to handle it for 2,600 miles.
Yeah.
So I'm actually like trying to change the way I walk to increase my odds of finishing.
No way.
It's crazy how much I've like.
Wait, do you know the? Wait, sorry.
No, you're good.
Do you know the percentage of people who start and
Finish.
make it?
I don't, but there was one survey that they did last year. Of the people who answered the survey, it was like 47% finished.
Okay.
So, I mean,
but that's only the
50-50.
people that are stupid enough to answer surveys.
Exactly, yeah. That's only the people who like, so most people, and they say a lot of people quit within the first 40 miles.
Okay.
Because they'll try to do 20 miles the first day, 20 miles the second day, and then their body just quits on them.
But you're doing the opposite. You're taking it easy in the beginning.
Yeah, because, well, first of all, I see that a lot of people fail in the very beginning, and I know my aunt is a little bit worried about, like, keeping up with me, so I want us to, like, start together slow and just get our own paces, and I don't walk fast. I walk 3 miles an hour. It's a 20-minute mile. Just steady. And the goal is to eventually walk from sunup to sundown. So not walk fast, but just walk all day. And I mean, if you do 3 miles an hour for 12 hours, that's over 30 miles.
Right.
So, I mean, 36 miles a day, that is a ton. And if I can build up my body strength to where I can walk at a steady pace for that long, I'll be good.
Yeah, yeah.
And that'll make resupplies easier because, if I go 120 miles, that's only 4 days. At 30 miles a day.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
So...
It's just, that is probably the best way to attack it, honestly. Not like...
Right, yeah, that's Lynn's strategy. He's like, I don't walk fast. He's like, most of you out there walk faster than me, but you will not walk more in a day than me. He's like, I don't take breaks for food. He's like, all my food's in my side pouches. I eat while I walk. I don't stop for lunch. I'll stop to take a picture. I'll stop cool sights. I'll say hi to people, but I just keep walking.
That's next level, wow.
Yeah, and it's really smart. I think that's my plan of attack. And then the desert, I have a different plan of attack, but it just depends on if it's really hot. So waking up like 5 a.m., hike till like 10 a.m., so get in like 5 hours of hiking.
Okay.
And then take a nap during the heat of the day, because 10 to 2 is like the hottest part.
Smart,
just take a nap during the day, wake back up at like 4 p.m., and then hike from 4 to like 10 p.m.
So your sleep schedule is going to be extremely malleable.
Yeah,
on this trip.
A little bit. But I mean, I think being out in nature and being exhausted all the time, it's not going to be too big of a deal. Because like, if my body's always so physically exhausted, the second I lay down, I feel like I'll probably be asleep. And I sleep really well as is. Mm-hmm. But if I want to wake up, like if I set my mind to like, I'm waking up at this time.
Like the natural, like you're almost programming your circadian rhythm, so it's like a natural alarm clock kind of.
Kinda. I think it's a little bit the sun. Like I usually, if the sun is in my room, I can kind of like feel it and either decide to wake up or be like, nah, I'm sleeping in today.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like I have 8 a.m. 3 days a week, so I like have to get up early every day. Okay. So I can get up early and go every day, but
I don't think you're gonna be so exhausted physically and mentally that I don't think you're gonna have any trouble sleeping. Honestly.
No, I don't think so.
That's an advantage. That's an advantage.
Right. And it'll be nice to like have. They call it hiker midnight is 9 p.m.
Okay.
So like I'll get some good sleep. Probably more sleep than I've had in the last couple of years.
Yeah, really.
Like this semester's been awesome. I've been sleeping like 7.5 hours a night, which is like more than I've slept in a long time.
Really?
Yeah, my sleep schedule was pretty messed up freshman, sophomore year.
Oh yeah.
Junior
3
year.
3 a.m. waking up at noon. Yeah, I lived it.
Junior year.
Did you live in the fraternity house at any point?
My junior year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, you stay up so late.
Oh my.
You sleep in so late.
It was normal. Like Monday through Friday, people were up till 1. Okay. Saturday and Sunday, people were up till 3 in my living room, so I could hear them every single night. Like
so you really don't even have much of a choice, honestly.
No, I got good at falling asleep with people around me. So, like, living in a fraternity house, I picked up a lot of self-control skills because, like, every temptation you can dream of is there. You've got to want yourself to be better than that.
Absolutely. Rise above it. Rise above it. Rise above it.
It's hard. But it's cool because, like, no one in our fraternity had really lived in a fraternity house. Like, we had an off-campus house, but it was totally different. We had 6 guys living in. The new house, we had 15.
Yeah, it's a very different dynamic than 6.
Exactly, especially in Greektown versus not in Greektown.
Okay.
And so, like, there was no one older than me that I could be like, yo, like, what'd you do when you lived in house? And now, like, I go back, like, I try to get to that fraternity house, like, once a week just to, like, see how the guys in house are doing. And, like,
no shit.
Yeah, just because, like, I don't want to say it's a burden to live in the fraternity house, but, like, it's a big task. Like,
I agree.
You have to be up to it to keep your grades up, to keep your sleep up, and your social life.
Worst grades of college were whenever I was living there.
I believe it.
Yeah, absolutely terrible.
Yeah, it happens, but it is fun.
It was only 1 semester though, so fortunately.
Okay, yeah, I did.
And you're totally right. It is fun. It's pros and cons, but it makes you appreciate your alone time. At least it did for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I started reading when I was living in the fraternity house.
Really?
I would take my hammock and I'd go hang it up out back, and I'd just read for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
People would come out and give me shit all the time, and I was like, I don't care. Like, you can make fun of me. That's fine. Yeah. I'm weird. I'm aware.
Yes. Dude, that's one thing I've always respected about you too. Like you're able to. I'm the same way in this aspect. Like, just be able to go against the crowd and not really care what other people think.
Yeah,
that's essential, man.
I mean, I think like people who just do things because other people do things are stupid, personally. I mean, I get it. Like, it's so
way of thinking.
It's so easy to think that way, though. But I've started, like, if I see everybody going right, I'm like, I'm gonna try left. Maybe it sucks. Maybe they were all right, but I want to know for myself. It isn't good enough for me to see other people doing one thing. I want to do it myself and see that it's wrong, and then be like, okay, sure, you're right.
Yeah.
But if they're not, like, I'm probably going to keep doing it my way.
That's an open mind versus a closed mind.
I guess, yeah.
Or a follower versus a leader, too.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit.
There's a quote by, I can't remember who it was. It was either, I want to say, it's either, these are a lot of just random names, but Albert Einstein, Edgar Allan Poe, or Mark Twain. I think it was Mark Twain, actually. But it's like, pretty much the idea is observe the masses and do the opposite. Which, I kind of agree with that. On a lot of things, that's pretty prevalent.
Mark Twain's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Missouri made man.
Missouri. Hannibal.
Oh, yeah. No, the one thing I got from him, though, is I had to read him in high school.
Okay.
And I probably spark noted the whole thing. I mean, but the one thing that stuck with me that we talked about in class was, like, his thought on, like, life was basically people who don't travel to, like, not to no fault of their own, but kind of are ignorant. He's like, if you don't know what's out there, you are ignorant because you just assume your way is the best way.
Yeah.
Because you haven't seen the other ways. He's like, if you don't expand your life through travel and through new experiences, you're doing yourself a disservice.
A lot more ignorant. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's why I've tried to, like, make my life something that I, like, try to do outside the box, and I want to make people, like, rethink what they're doing. Like, most people go into business. And I'm a fisheries and wildlife. That's pretty, like, strange. That's pretty out of the box. But I want to show people that you can do that, be a professional, and have a good life. And you don't need all these things people tell you. You don't need, like, the cars. You don't need the money. Like, sure, they're fun. And if that's what you want, don't let me tell you, like, don't do that. But that's not what I want with my life. I want experiences, and I want people, and I want, like, places in my mind to go to, not things, because things go out of style and then you have to buy the next new thing. But this trip, once it's done, like, I'll never have to go redo it. I mean, I probably want to, honestly. I probably want to go back, but, like, it will always live in my memory, and the things I've learned from it, I'll never forget.
Oh, absolutely.
Unless I get Alzheimer's.
You'll think. Yeah.
Which is terrifying to see.
Scary fucking drug.
Terrifying to see.
No, not drug. Yeah, disease. Yeah. No. Yeah, on the same point. Yeah, so you would consider yourself more of a minimalist compared to, like, materialist?
Yeah. I mean, if you're comparing the two, I'm definitely on the minimalist side, but I mean, it's like a spectrum. You know, I'm not a minimalist, but I'm definitely on that side.
I would say I'm like 80-20 personally.
Yeah.
Like, I like nice things, but, like, at the same time, like, it's you can't put too much value in those nice things.
Yeah.
And I think our generation, this might sound kind of conceited and narcissistic about the whole entire millennial generation, but I think our generation's kind of starting to figure that out, at least in the United States, in this consumer-based economy. Like,
people are figuring out they don't want things.
Yeah. It's not the way. It's not the way.
I think things should be a way to get experiences. Like, if you want to buy a car, buy the car that allows you to go mudding if that's what you like.
Yeah, totally. Like, Jeep,
Yeah, like, you can buy a nice... I'm not saying don't buy a nice car. Like, the backpack I bought is a nice, expensive backpack. But it's going to allow me to have more fun doing what I like doing. You know, it's
totally.
It's buying nice things that help you have fun, not buying nice things because it's fun.
Okay.
It's a subtle difference, but, like, I think it's important.
And you got to find that fine line and be able to.
Yeah.
I guess that's where the wisdom comes from, right?
Yeah, experience, knowing when you've got enough. Because, I mean, everyone wants more. It's like part of human nature is we want more because that makes us work harder. And so, like, people who want more are usually, they grow and become better.
Absolutely.
But you've got to know where to, like, draw the line in the sand and be like, I've got what I need. I don't need more.
And being unsatisfied, it's a creative state.
Yeah, no. I think people are afraid of being unsatisfied because, like, they think, like, the goal of life is to be satisfied, but really, like, being unsatisfied, like you said, it helps you do great things.
Yeah.
It's hard to balance, like with the PCT, like, I've already started dreaming about the next trail and the next thing. Like, I haven't even done one. And I'm not going to be satisfied with that, but I know I've got to, like, collect myself and be like, nah, I got to work for a little bit and then the next adventure. And, like, you've got to have self-discipline.
Absolutely. That's a mental barrier.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, everyone wants more.
Yeah.
That's just true.
Good and bad, I guess.
Yeah.
You just gotta find that. Yeah, greed is a scary demon, man.
Right. Everyone works in self-interest. Like in my work, they always talk about they'll have like meetings. So we're like the science side, and then you've got like the lawyers for like the ag industry side, and then you've got like the EPA government side, and everyone just wants their part done. And so then regulations get passed where the science is there a little bit, the farmers get their input, and the EPA gets their input. So everyone's just working totally in self-interest, but we all kind of find a happy medium.
Like that balance is achieved. Yeah, that's what's interesting to me.
Really hard to find
about like economics. You know, like the concept of like the invisible hand or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool because every single person is working out of self-interest. Some are a little bit more selfless than others, but for the most part, like you said, they're working out of self-interest. But this, I don't know, no
one's gonna screw themselves over on purpose.
Yeah,
you know, and so they work to do what they think is best. And people are wrong a lot. Like, people who work in self-interest sometimes probably screw themselves over. But that's, I feel like, what keeps us going back to, like, being self-interested is that sometimes you're wrong, but whenever you're right, it just feels that much better because you've been wrong and you know what it's like to be on the other side.
Yeah.
Like, you can't experience highs without the lows. I don't know.
No, I'd agree, because then you have that low to compare it to.
Like, everything is relative. Like, my philosophy teacher, he said one day, he wrote on the board, he goes, Tim is tall. His name's Tim. He's like 5'10". And he's like, here, you laugh because I'm not tall. But when I go back to Taiwan, I am tall. Like, that is true. But everything's relative. So
versus if you go somewhere over in, like, one of those tribes in Africa where they're recruiting, like, apparently Duke University is recruiting these people that are, like, 7 foot, and he's short.
Yeah.
He's short.
Exactly. So it's just crazy. Like, our human senses are based off of change. So, like, you know, you ever heard about how a frog will be boiled alive if you just slowly increase the temperature?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, if you put a frog in a pot and it's cold water and all of a sudden it's just boiling water, it'll jump out. But if you put a frog in a pot and you just slowly turn up the temperature, very slowly, it'll just chill there because it doesn't sense the change, and all of a sudden it's dying.
Oh, wow.
Because senses are based off of change. So if there isn't change in your life, you don't really notice differences. Like, you need that high and you need that low just as much. Like, we don't like the low, we don't like the struggle, but without it, you don't appreciate what you've got. You know,
those are the times where you dig deep, and honestly, the struggle is...
Humans can survive everywhere.
Yeah, that is cool.
Like, the greatest struggle ever, you can survive. Like, the Holocaust, people survived that. Like, that's crazy to think about. Yeah, and those people probably have some of the greatest work ethic because they went through so much shit, and, like, surviving on a daily basis took more energy than most of us spend in a month.
Oh.
And if you think about it, like, once you're done with that struggle, all of a sudden you're like, well, why would I not work really, really hard? Because I've been working really hard for the last 2 years.
Right.
And so you just put that work ethic into something else, and that's how people get really, really good at things, is they go through struggle, and then they see what they want to do, and they put that same amount of effort that they put into surviving before.
Well, I think that work ethic that you develop from that's important, but more than anything, I think the gratitude that you would be able to take away from that, because... I don't know. I feel like you can always tap into that experience, and same with you hiking the PCT. Like, that's you can always tap into that, man. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Whatever you need to tap into it for too. Like, whatever you learn out there, you'll know, and whatever it is, you'll know.
Yeah.
And whether it's a self-confidence boost, it's a times will suck, but they'll get better. Like, just keep on trekking, you know.
Yeah. No, it's true. Definitely will, like, put perspective on things and help me, like, when I'm in another low, be like, I've been lower, look, I can make it through. I made it through before. Yeah, that's true. I didn't really think about it that way.
I'm excited because we should totally do anher podcast. Like,
after? Oh, yes. Definitely. Yeah. Yes. No, definitely.
Like a post. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I had thought about that for sure.
Well, you want to call this wraps?
Sure, dude. Yeah.
Cool. This was a good
first podcast. Yeah. How long was that?
Ooh, let's see. Hour 14 minutes on the recorder.
Nice. All right. Cool.
Nice.
Fly pretty fast.
Well, do you have any last words?
Not really, no.
Yeah, I have nothing. I usually ask the guests to like say whatever you want to say or send the clothes off, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's worth noting because we didn't say I've known Matt since preschool.
Yeah, we were like 4 years old when we met.
Something like that, something crazy.
And then we've, been like friends ever since.
It's kind of cool too because like because we grew up with like different lives. We grew up like 20 minutes away.
Yeah,
so.
but we played soccer occasionally, like indoor. I think we played like 2 years here, 2 years there. Because we played at
Veta?
Yeah, but then there was a different one too, like Madison Square Garden, maybe.
I never played with Barmail at Madison.
No, you totally did. Yeah, because there was 2 other kids from Timberland. There was.
Did we?
Yeah,
did we play a session?
for like 1 or 2 years. That was it.
Okay.
I'm pretty.
I think
sure.
because I remember inviting buddies. Now that you say that,
Yeah.
Okay, I guess what I did.
Because
Yeah.
there was 2 of your friends from Timberland that played varsity, and they were like amazing, and I was like just trying to pretend like I knew what I was doing.
Right.
Because I kind of like stopped playing soccer at that point, and you guys were like the peak of soccer, and so I'm pretty sure at that point.
Soccer was a big part of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's the same way like water polo was a big part of my life.
Totally.
It's cool though how everyone kind of goes off, does their own things, has their own experiences, and then comes back and actually has cool stuff to talk about.
True. And
Yeah.
it's cool too because we saw each other growing up like very frequently. It was just like you're one of those people, and I have a few people like this, like, and just people go in and out of our lives and stuff, and then now we're at the point of our lives where we're starting to really figure out more like who we really are.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know, like same deal. I have another buddy who he grew up. And I don't know, basically I saw him all the time. He was a family friend, so I've known him since I was probably about 5, honestly. Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And he was just in and out of my life constantly. But like now, like the person he turned into, I think he's like the coolest guy. And same to you, man. Same
Thanks,
to you.
man. You too, dude.
Thank you.
I know. I feel like we didn't really hang out too much till this week, but like we've hung out like every day so far.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, not mad.
Well, also like your grad party I came to.
Oh yeah,
and then,
yeah.
Like a lot of like family type things. You know what I mean? And then we had a lot of mutual friends. I think that's what it was more than anything.
Definitely.
Especially with like Greg. Sleepovers. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Greg was the binding piece more than
For
anything,
sure.
yeah.
Because Greg always played soccer with you.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. It's cool though. Oh, all right.
It's cool how things work out like that. That's tight.
They always do somehow.
True. Optimist.
For now.
And there you have it. The PCT Trail. He's taking it on in 3 months. Wait, is it 3 months? Or 4 months?
4.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. 4 months. So, yeah, wish him luck in the comments. Yeah, all right, see ya. Bye. These send-offs are always so awkward.
Dude, yeah, definitely.